the watchdog timer is to protect your system against the software failures, such as entering an application in your system into an infinite loop or uh, hanging for a certain period of time. Then the watchdog timer helps the system to reset and come out of that state. Okay, and if you think that the watchdog timer function is not needed in your application, then you can use this watchdog timer as an interval timer and can generate the interrupts at regular intervals of time. Okay, so these are the main two functions that watchdog timer supports. You can use the watchdog timer to protect the system against the software failures and generate the reset or PUC signals. And the second one is you can use that as an interval timer and generate the interrupts at regular intervals of time. Let us look at the important features of this watchdog timer. The first one is you are having a 4 software selectable timer intervals. You have 4 software selectable timer intervals. You can select these software selectable timer intervals by using the WDT-IS bit. You have WDT-IS bit called as watchdog timer interval select. Okay, WDT-IS, which means that watchdog timer interval select. By using this, it's 2 bits combination, so 00011011. So you'll have 4 combinations with the help of 2 bits here. So you can select 4 timer intervals. So you can select the clock source for the watchdog timer. Let it can be a submaster clock or auxiliary clock. 768, or it can be divided by 8192, or it can be divided by 512, or it can be divided by 64. Okay, so you need to select the clock source for the watchdog timer. Let it be the auxiliary clock or submaster clock. Once you have selected the clock frequency, then that clock frequency will be divided by this prescaling values. So prescaling values you need to select through the WDT-IS. So you will be having 4 different prescaling values. So higher the prescaling value if you are selecting, okay, like 32768. So higher the prescaling value you are selecting, and will the lower the time period. So faster the operation. Okay. So that is about 4 software selectable time intervals, and with these 4 software selectable time intervals, you can provide 8 different, okay, time intervals, because for auxiliary clock you are getting 4, and for submaster clock again you are getting 4. So total 8 different, okay, time intervals you can get for the watchdog timer. And then the next point is the features: watchdog timer mode and watchdog timer interval mode. So your watchdog timer can be used in 2 modes of operation. As I told you, it can be used as a watchdog timer to protect the system against the software failures, or it can be used in timer interval to generate the interrupts. So your watchdog timer is going to operate in 2 modes. So one is the watchdog timer mode, and the one is the timer interval mode. Okay, and the next one is another important feature of watchdog timer is access to is password protected. So this is the control register of the watchdog timer. Okay, so what is the use of this control register is, if you want to configure your watchdog timer and if you want to control your watchdog timer, you are going to do that through the control register of watchdog timer. So by configuring and by setting up some bits in the watchdog timer, you can select the clock source. Okay, you can reset your counter, or you can select the timer intervals. So do all, or you can stop your watchdog timer. So different functions can be performed through this watchdog timer control register. So if you want to access this watchdog timer control register, you have to do it through a password. Okay, so this is actually a 16-bit WTL. Okay, watchdog timer control register is a 16-bit watchdog timer control register. It's a 16-bit register, and okay, it's a 16-bit one, and the top 8 bits, that is the higher 8 bits, 8 to 15. Okay, the higher 8 bits are used for the password and the lower 8 bits are used for the control bits. You can see that clearly. Okay, you can see that clearly here. The top 8 bits are used for the password. Okay, so this is the top 8 bits, 8 to 15. Okay, so the top 8 bits, 8 to 15, they are used for the password. Okay, if you want to write the data to the control register or you want to read the data, it is a password protected. And the lower bits, you can see the lower bits. Okay, so the lower bits, you can see them, all these lower bits are control bits for the watchdog timer. Okay, so that is access to WDT control register is password protected. So if you want to access your watchdog, in case if you fail to provide the correct password. Okay, and the passwords are given here. If you want to read the data, the password is given here. 169H is the data to read the data from the WDT CTL, and if you want to write the data to the WDT CTL, it is a 5AH. Okay, 5AH is for write and 69H is for read password and write password. So these are the, okay, upper byte of the WDT CTL. And we look into the next important feature of the, okay, watchdog timer. That is the selectable clock source. So you can see that it is the selectable clock source. So clock source you can select from which source of the MSP430 device you need to provide the clock to the watchdog timer. So you can do that with the help of clock source selection. So here it is. Let me erase this. Here you are having WDT source select pin. You can see that WDT source select, WDT SSEL. So WDT SSEL means WDT source select. So you can select the clock source for the watchdog timer. So if this bit is set to 0, your clock source is submaster clock. So clock provided to the WDT is the submaster clock. In case if you select this as 1, so auxiliary clock is the clock source for the WDT, but by default you will be having the submaster clock as a clock source for the WDT. If you want to change this submaster clock to auxiliary clock, you can change the bit to 0 to 1. Okay, WDT device. Okay, so that is the another important feature of WDT, selectable clock source, and can be stopped to conserve power. So one of the main important features of MSP430 is low power. Okay, low power consumption, right? They are mainly used for the low power applications. So can be stopped to conserve power. If you want to save the power, then this watchdog timer can be stopped if you are not working on this WDT, right? So for that, a bit is provided in the control register. You can see the WDT hold bit. We call that as the WDT hold bit. So it stops the operation of the counter. So a WDT watchdog timer, it mainly depends on the counter. So the counter works on the clock inputs, right? The counter works on the clock inputs. If you are stop the clock to the counter, then your counter cannot do the count operation. Okay, so watchdog timer hold bit is going to stop the clock to the counter. Okay, if you are stopping the clock to the counter, then counter will not be able to do the operations. Then it stops the WDT watchdog timer. Okay, in case, so that can be done with the help of the WDT hold bit 0 and 1. So if you set the bit hold bit to 0, then your watchdog timer is fully active, so it is enabled. Okay, then the clock sources are provided to the counter and it is fully operational. In case if you set this bit to 1, then your clock sources, that is your the clock, okay, to the counter is disabled and your counter will be stopped. Then the watchdog timer cannot do the operations. Okay, so you can stop the watchdog timer if you are you are having one more important feature of this watchdog timer is that clock fails safe feature. Okay, clock fail conditions. Generally, the watchdog timer cannot be used in the low power modes like LPM3 or LPM4. Okay, because if you want your watchdog timer to work in this low power mode 3 or 4, then you need to use this, okay, master clock. You need to disable the master clock, but disabling the master clock will not allow the watchdog timer to function. So you cannot use this watchdog timer in the low power modes like 3 and 4. But if you want to use the watchdog timer in these modes, okay, then you need to choose another clock called as master clock. Sorry, this is SMCLK. So master clock. Okay, so master clock is used as a backup for the WDT watchdog timer. In case if you are unable to use any the auxiliary clock or submaster clock, okay, for the low power modes, then you can use the master clock for the counter. So that is the clock fail save feature is available for WDT of MSP 430. So these are the important features of MSP 430. Let me go through the features again. You have 4 software selectable time intervals. You can select one of the time intervals for the master clock or for the submaster clock or the auxiliary clock. And you are having 2 modes for this watchdog timer. One is the watchdog timer mode, another one is the timer interval mode. So you can select one of the modes, and then if you want to access the watchdog timer and it is password protected, you need to give the correct password to access the watchdog timer, okay, to read or write the data. If you fail to give the correct password, submaster clock, okay, and also the clock fail save feature is there. In case if your submaster clock or auxiliary clock is not supporting your watchdog timer to the low power mode 3 or 4, then you can use the master clock, okay, in alternative to the submaster or auxiliary clock. Okay, and this watchdog timer can also be stopped to conserve, to save the power if you are not using the watchdog timer. So these are the few important features of the WDT of MSP 430. Now if you look at the other bits in the control register of, okay, WDT, you can see there are 16 bits, and we know that the top 8 bits are for the password, okay, 8 to 15. Okay, the 8 to 15 are the top bits, and that is the higher order bits, they are used for the password. Okay, and the password 5AH is the, okay, write operation, and 69H is the read operation. Okay, and the remaining bits, one is the hold bit, and we know what is the hold bit, means WDT hold bit, right? So we know what is hold bit, we have done it already. So if you set that to 0, your watchdog timer is in fully operating condition, and if you set that to 1, your counter will be stopped, so watchdog timer cannot function. And then you are having WDT NMI edge select, okay, NMI non-maskable interrupt. So watchdog timer NMI edge select, you can select the edge like a rising edge or falling edge, like 0 to 1 is the rising edge, or 1 to 0 is the falling edge. You can select the edge at which your NMI interrupt can occur. Okay, you can select the rising edge or falling edge at which your NMI interrupt can occur with the help of these bits. 0 at the rising edge, okay, you can use the watchdog timer for the reset. By default your watchdog timer will be in a reset function. If you want to change that to NMI, you can change that with the help of the bits 0 and 1. So if you set this WDT NMI to 0, it is a reset function by default, and if you set that bit to 1, it is an NMI function. Okay, so that is the another bit. And then you are having the mode selection, already we have done this WDT, okay, TM select. So WDT timer mode select. So watchdog timer mode selection can be done by setting the bit 0 to watchdog mode and 1 for timer interval mode. Okay, and then if you want to clear your watchdog timer counter, you can clear that with the help of WDT CNTL. So you are having WDT CNTL, that is watchdog timer CNT counter CL clear. Okay, so watchdog timer counter clear, by setting the bit to 1, your watchdog timer counter bit will be cleared and it reset to 0. Okay, if it is 0, then it will take no action on the counter register. Okay, if you set that bit to 1, your counter register will be 0, set to 0. Okay, and the counter register used here is a 16-bit register, so they set the value as 40H. Okay, and then source selection. So we have gone through this source selection. You can select the submaster clock, or you can select the auxiliary clock as the source for the watchdog timer. And we have timer interval select. This is also already discussed, WDTIS. Okay, watchdog timer interval select. So you can select 4 different intervals. So higher the division value, so lower the time taken and faster the operation. Okay, and let us look at the internal block diagram of this watchdog timer. Okay, so you can see that this is the WDT CTL what we are discussing. WDT CTL is a watchdog timer control register. So you are having 16 bits here. This is the top 8 bits and these are the bottom 8 bits. So you are having a total of 16 bits in the watchdog timer control register, and these top 8 bits are the higher value is the password. Okay, it's a PW, it's a password. So you have a password compare unit here. Your password compare unit will compare the inputs, okay, with the password if you want to write the data to the lower byte. Okay, so lower byte is accessible only if your password is succeeded. In case if you fail to give the correct password, then you are not be allowed, okay, to write the data to the control register lower byte. Okay, so this is the value, password value they are giving, it is a 5. Okay, 5AH. So 01011010. Okay, so that is the password value given. So if the password 5AH and your input to the password compare register is same, then your write enable will be enabled. So you will be enabled, you are having an enable function here. So your write enable will be enabled so that you can be able to write the data to the lower byte of the control register. In case if you fail to give the proper password to the WDT CTL, then you will not be allowed to write the data to the lower byte. Okay, so only this lower byte is enabled only if the you can select the read or write function here, it is given. You can select the read or write to the control register. Okay, and then the counter used here is a 16-bit counter. So you can see this is the counter, it's a 16-bit counter. Okay, and that 16-bit counter is provided with the clock signal. So clock is provided here, a 16-bit for the 16-bit counter. So the clock, you are having 3 different clocks. You are having master clock, submaster, auxiliary clock can be given to the 16-bit counter. Okay, so the clock is applied to the counter only if the clock is enabled. Okay, that is done through the WDT clock. Okay, so you need to enable the clock signal. So that is, you can see here, WDT hold function. WDT hold function, you can see that. So this is WDT hold function, and that hold function is given to the enable pin of 16-bit counter clock. So this is just like a simple multiplexer. Okay, if you are multiplexer with enable, multiplexer with enable pin. So if your enable is active, then multiplexer will take based on the inputs, it will give you the output. Okay, so you can see that WDT source select. So you are having WDT source select, and this WDT source select pin is connected to A. Okay, and WDT hold pin is connected to enable, and WDT source select pin is connected to the A pin. Okay, let me erase this. WDT source select pin is connected to the A pin. So source selection, if it is one auxiliary clock will be selected. Okay, the auxiliary clock or submaster clock will be applied to the counter only if the bit is enabled. So watchdog timer is not on the hold condition. If watchdog timer is on hold condition, then your clock will be not given to the counter, then the counter cannot do its counting operation. Only the counter goes to the working condition only if your watchdog timer hold bit enables the clock setting. Okay, then you can select the source from which you can apply the clock to the counter from the WDT source select. Okay, either auxiliary clock or submaster clock. Okay, and let me erase this. And here you are having a clock fail safe logic. So if you want to disable this submaster clock or auxiliary clock, and if you want to use the watchdog timer for the low power modes, then you can use the master clock for the clock. Master clock as the clock for the 16-bit counter. Okay, and the clock request logic is connected to the mode in which you are working. You are having 3 bits connection to that. You can see that one is the source select, which source you are selecting, either auxiliary clock or submaster clock. Okay, and then the timer hold. So what is it in active mode or it is in the stop mode, and then the mode in which you are working, like watchdog mode or timer mode. So that is interval timer mode or watchdog mode. Based on these 3 functions, your clock request logic will be used. Okay, and then for the counter, you are having 4 prescaling values. So you can see the 4 prescaling values like Q6, Q9, okay, IS. So you are having WDT IS here. This is WDT IS interval select. Okay, WDT IS 0, WDT IS 1. So WDT interval select, 2 bits you are having for interval select, and you can see that 2 bits are connected here, AB. Okay, these 2 bits are connected here, AB. So selecting of these bits on TS0 and TS1, that is interval select 0 and interval select 1. Okay, setting that to 0 0. So 0 will be selected, and then Q15. Okay, Q15 means the highest division. Okay, highest division will be selected, and if you are selecting, that is 32,000 will be selected, and then if you are giving 0 1 the bits, then 1 will be, that is Q13. So 13th flip flop, it is up to 13th flip flop, and your value will be 8192. So prescaling value will be 8192. If it is 10, okay, then it is 2, and it is Q9, sorry, it is Q9. Okay, and for Q9 your clock source will be divided by 512, okay, up to 9th flip flop. And if it is 11, okay, it is 3, and it is Q6 up to 6th flip flop output. Okay, 6th flip flop output will be given, that is divided by 64. Okay, so your prescaling value will be selected for the counter through the WDT IS1 and WDT IS0 bits that are connected to the AB, okay, of the prescaling logic. Okay, there you are having 4 outputs like Q6, Q9, Q13, Q15. You can select one of the prescaling values. Okay, and if you are using your watchdog timer, okay, in the watchdog, if you are working on the timer interval mode, then you cannot generate the PUC signal. Okay, only if you are working on the watchdog mode, then only a PUC can be generated. So you can clear your watchdog timer, okay, on 3 conditions you are having. You can clear a watchdog timer 16-bit counter through the software, that is WDT CNT CL. So you are having a counter clear register. So setting up of this counter clear register. So you are having WDT CNT CL, okay, counter clear register. Setting up of this counter clear register will clear the 16-bit counter. That is one thing, and another one is the PUC. So a PUC can be generated by the WDT watchdog timer in watchdog timer mode to clear the counter register. Okay, and the other is that in a timer interval. So in a timer interval also you can clear your counter, okay, by generating a pulse on watchdog timer interrupts. Okay, so this is another signal. So you are having three different ways on which your counter can be cleared. Okay, one is through the counter control CL register, through which that is register you can clear the counter value. Another one is the PUC in the watchdog mode, and then on a watchdog timer IFG interrupt flag you can clear the counters. Okay, so this is how the internal structure of this watchdog timer is going to function. Okay, let me brief you about this architecture in brief, that is the internal block diagram in brief. So you are having, okay, a 16-bit control register in which the upper part is used for comparing the password. Once you right of the control register, and then you can select the source for the counter through the source bit that is available in the control register. You can select two sources, one is submaster clock or auxiliary clock. Okay, so this will be applied to the counter only if the logic is enabled. If the logic is disabled, then you cannot apply the clock to the counter. Only if the logic is enabled, then only you can apply the submaster clock or auxiliary clock to the counter. In case of a failure of using this auxiliary clock or submaster clock to the counter, you can also use the master clock. Okay, and you can select the pre-scaling like divided by 64 or 512 or 8192 or 32768. Okay, based on the 2 bits of the interval select. So IS0 bit, IS1 bit are available interval select bits. So setting up of these 2 bits, you can select one of the pre-scaling values. Okay, and you can clear your watchdog timer through the PUC or through the counter clear, okay, or through the interrupt from the interval mode. So by using these three ways you can clear your counter register. Okay, thank you.